everybody, my name is Wexilex and welcome back to another Brute update. So we are at Gabe's house, and there's Gabe.
Howdy.
And we are working on the Brute feet. So we have both of the molds right here, they are done. And we are right now using car wax to basically use it as like a kind of
like a release agent.
A mold release.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be using this product called Uracoat, and that's going to be the rubber bottoms of our Brute's feet. Thank you to Smooth On for providing us with some Uracoat and trying it out. We really appreciate it, and we love you. We're not sponsored by them, but we appreciate your gesture in our endeavors of hopeful greatness. So yeah, we're just using some sponge brushes and some Brazilian car wax. Makes the Brute feet smell not like a Brute would probably smell.
I like the smell of this. I think it smells good.
It does smell good. It's probably not something you should huff though, as you shove the can in your face. But yeah, we're just going to wax these first, and then we have the Uracoat there, and we're gonna do some dye mixing to make sure that the bottom of these feet are dyed a dark brown, and we will update you guys when we get there. Okay guys, so it's past 11 o'clock at night, and we have finished with casting the feet. I know that I was gonna do a video of some of the process, but we got so caught up and excited in what we were doing that we just decided, fuck it, we're going ham. And so we went ham. And so the process we did was, we had some dye for the Uracoat that we used to color the... Wow, that was loud. He popped his neck. I heard it over here. It was scary. So we used brown to make it look like the color of a Brute's foot from the underside. We'll probably have to lighten it up a little bit, dirty it up a little bit, but we needed it to be brown, so we... Dude. But yeah, it's brown. It's lighter on the inside because we ran out of brown coloring, and we figured that a flesh undertone would give it some more dimension if somebody were to randomly look at the underside of a Brute's foot for whatever reason. Like, how did you get down in there in the first place? But okay, whatever. Nice detail, attention to detail there. So we did 2 layers of the Uracoat as it was, and then we did a 3rd coat and then smushed our stilts on top of the raw layer. And so we're basically doing what people do when they do masonry with a house, where they lay bricks and they add that layer of cement between each brick. We did that basically between the Uracoat and the stilt, where we did a raw Uracoat and then put the stilt on top, tried to get as much air out from underneath them as possible. The second one we did a lot better, because we had more Uracoat underneath the stilt. This one, not as much. You can still tell there's a little bit of air. Hopefully it won't be bad, and we can still walk around in the stilts and it won't tear. That's my biggest worry, but we did pour more down in there, and a lot of air bubbles came out, so we're hoping that we filled most of that empty space and that it comes out fine. So the full cure time on Uracoat is 16 hours. So we have to wait till tomorrow to see if this has turned out. I have to go to work. Gabe has commissions to work on, so when I get back from work, I'll be returning here, and we will unmold these, decast, whatever, get them out of the mold, and yeah, we'll see how it looks. And I'm really excited, but also very nervous, because I want this to work out really bad. But yeah, we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
See you tomorrow. Everybody, we are back. It is the day afterwards, so our molds are... or our casts are all cured. It's a 16-hour cure time. It's been a little over that. So here's one, and there's the other. And we'll talk about why it's on the floor in a second. The other one's on the floor. It's because this stuff cures really tough. And when I mean tough, I mean it's like a car tire. And I'm not joking. This stuff is rigid when you put it in multiple layers. So the edges were easy to get up and the toes were easy to get up, but we can't get it out of the mold. So it's a good thing I made this mold out of plaster, because we're gonna have to break it just to get the foot out. We were only really intending the foot to be the foot molds to be a one-time use, but I didn't want to break it if I didn't have to, but now we have to, so we're gonna start breaking shit. Hey guys, so as you saw, we had to use a pressure washer to get our stilts out of the mold. So the toes, whoops, I almost knocked his helmet down. So the toes were easy to bend backwards to get out of the mold because they were flexible. The rest of the stilts we couldn't flex out because there's nothing to flex. It's wood in this rubber, so there was no way we could flex any of this, so the bottom couldn't come out, so we ended up scrapping both of the molds for both feet. They were intended to be one-time molds, but I really didn't want to break them, but it happened anyway, so they're gone. They're in the garbage.
That is them.
See that bucket?
Those are they.
It's feet. So we got these out, and with the help of Gabe's awesome dad, we used a pressure washer to get the feet out and to kind of clean them. There was still a lot of plaster in the cracks of the feet. I think it actually gives it a little bit of a worn look, actually.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot that we need to clean off of that. But it looks brown. And this stuff is like wicked. It's like touching a tire on a car.
It's like indestructible.
Like, it's impact resistant. We were hammering on this thing with hammers. There's a little bit of a scrape here, but there's no like actual damage to this rubber. So when Jeremy's gonna be walking around these stilts, it's not gonna sound too much like wood. It's gonna sound like a muffled footstep, which is gonna be awesome. Which is what we were aiming for when we did this.
It'll sound like this.
Okay, Gabe's gonna show you how it sounds. Except Jeremy will probably be a little bit lighter on his footsteps, hopefully, maybe? There's a little bit of a wood sound, but it's not a recognizable immediately, like, oh, his feet are made out of wood.
Plus, to be fair, each one of these is like 10 pounds or better.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 15 pounds. I don't know, but they're like seriously heavy.
Yeah, but Jeremy's got the legs for it, so
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay. He won't be moving around much anyway, because people are going to be constantly asking him for pictures.
That
so
too.
he's not going to be moving around much to start.
Yeah.
So what's cool is when Jeremy walks, these toes are going to flex on their own. So it'll look like a natural walk, which is pretty cool. And we don't have to add any extra weight to him or anything. Just leave them as is, and they will work out like normal toes. So the next step for this costume is to start building the body, basically. We're going to keep going from the legs up, because legs are a good place to start to figure out what we're doing, and then once we figure that out, we will move on to the larger parts like the torso and the shoulders. And it's going to be a lot of foam work, and it's not foam that we're usually working with. We're going to be using upholstery foam. And I've been watching a lot of videos from Stan Winston's school to how to make bodysuits and stuff like that, muscle suits and stuff out of upholstery foam. So we'll be using that as reference, and I showed you guys in the first update video of the sketches I had for the muscles, the muscle groups. My hair will not stay out of my face. I look like frickin' May. Sorry. Frickin' May's Bay bullshit. So you choking on your soda. So yeah, that's feet. And so we have that started. So we have our costume started.
Woo!
We have Jeremy's duct tape dummy in my car, which I think will stay in my car for right now. I don't feel like getting it out of my car. But we're going to be using that as reference so we don't have to have Jeremy around all the time, so we can build the body of the brute costume. And it's going to be an eventful number of weeks. We're going to try and get this done for PAX. PAX doesn't have a costume contest, but Rose City Comic Con does. And Rose City is the weekend after PAX. And Rose City Comic Con is also a lot cheaper to go to and is a half-hour drive from my house. So it'll be a lot easier to move the costume to the Portland Convention Center, and in general, a lot more manageable. So hopefully we can get this costume done for a costume contest as well. And we will have had a test run at PAX, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
So that's our update for tonight. We got the boots out of the molds. I was hoping to get more done, but I didn't expect them to get stuck.
Yeah.
So there's that. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. Hit subscribe if you guys want to see more updates about this. I also post other videos about other stuff if you want to take a gander at that as well. And let me know if you guys have any suggestions on what we could do to improve our building technique. Like, I'm open to most suggestions, as long as you don't tell me, oh, just buy it from someplace. Like, no, that's not the point.
We don't buy things.
We don't buy stuff. What are you talking about? But yeah, techniques, what you think is cool about the costume, what you like about it so far, who your favorite brute is, even though you only know the name of one if you played the games. Frickin' Mohawk. Yeah, that's our update for tonight. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll catch you. I still can't do my outros normally without fucking up. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya!